All right. Hey, Gary. Thanks for joining us for Between the Meetings. I know that, as usual, you're just jammed wall to wall with meetings, and I'm just getting going. I got my coffee going here, and it's always good to hang out with a
I
friend and
already
have a cup of
finished my coffee. I finished my
coffee.
coffee. And I had to
you're
drink it fast. I had to drink it
you're
fast to
on,
get myself fired up for the day.
you're onto the beer now. Okay. All right. I get it. It's Friday. It's Friday.
The
So what's
water
up?
first.
Oh, there you go.
Not bad, not bad. It's we've actually had a couple of good days of weather this week, so that's kind of exciting. And after a really weird winter, it was very weird
Yeah,
for.
no, out where I'm at, normally it's like winter, winter, winter. And this year we had one weekend of snow.
Yeah, we don't get snow
It
here in
started
North
Friday
Carolina very
night.
much.
Well, it started Friday night and it was gone by Monday morning. So it was like, cool, all right, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we
if you're gonna have snow, yeah, that's not a bad way to go.
Yeah, I'd love to have snow. I love it, but we just don't, we don't get very much snow. We get one big snow every 3 or 4 years. And that's it.
Yeah,
And
well,
it'll dump like 12 inches, and then we won't get any snow for 3 or 4 years, and it'll dump 12 inches and we get no snow. So we don't even have a consistent 2 or 3 inches of snow every year. So
well, at least you get something once in a while, something to hope for every year.
yeah, yeah.
So, we do meet you and I. We talk all the time, but we don't really get too much of an opportunity to find out something about each other. So just think of it as we've just walked out of a conference room, and we're walking over. I've got my coffee, but you're heading for your second cup. We're going to walk over there, and how's the kids?
Good. So I have two daughters. One is works for an ad agency in New York City, and the other one's in college still. They're great kids, and they, interestingly enough, neither one of them have any interest in the industry. Although my older daughter loves technology, but just doesn't love the AV industry the way I do. But she does love technology. She has worked and interned in my company for many years at trade shows. Many of your viewers may have seen her shoot a video or two. She's also been a photographer for us and done some editing. But so she's really big into technology. But our industry, I think, is too niche for her. I think it's too niche. But the older one is both of them grew up year-round swimmers. Both swam in college. The younger one is swimming in college now. So of course. I try to swim, but nowhere near the level that they are.
Yeah, when I was young, I was a Navy rescue swimmer. That kind of got me over swimming.
Well, does that mean when you're a Navy rescue, do you have to become a diver too? Do you have to be diver certified as well?
No, it's we're the guys that jump out of the helicopter.
Okay, yeah. So that when you're having a problem, you're jumping into the 10-foot swells to save somebody.
Or right in front of an aircraft carrier that's barreling down on.
Yeah.
There's that.
I can't imagine. That's funny. I grew up as a Navy brat. My dad ended up being an admiral in the Navy. He served for 34 years. Yeah, he was ended up being a 3-star admiral too, because when he was getting ready to retire, so he had I guess 1-star, then 2-star, and then the Gulf War happened. So then I guess you can only be a 3-star. You correct me if I'm wrong here. I may have my numbers wrong. Whatever level star he was, you can only do that in war, like during war. So he got that extra star, and then of course he retired. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad he made it through, and it's they say once you've been in the military, there's like Air Force, you can pretty much get over it when you get out. Army, it takes 8 to 10, 12, maybe 20 years sometimes. Navy, you're always like looking at the water. And Marine Corps, you're always a Marine.
Yeah. Well, my dad would say the Marine Corps works for the Navy.
Oh well, yeah, they're the Navy janitors. Of course, now I just pissed off every Marine in the world. Yeah. But that's okay.
No,
that's okay.
I didn't say that. My dad said that. Yes.
It's a Navy Marine thing. I get that.
Yeah.
So, what else with the family? What's going on?
That's it. I mean, it's gonna be a, we'll see if as the weather gets better. I'd like to spend more time at the Outer Banks. I have a place out there, and I enjoy hanging out there. I love being on the water like you. I have a sailboat too, but it's only 14 foot, and it's a wave, Hobie Cat wave. So it's not like your boat.
Not only, but yeah. So
no, it's the smallest sailboat they make. But I'll tell you, what's nice about a Hobie Cat is anyone can sail it, right? I mean, because it's very hard to turn it over. Although I do have a story about turning it over. So the first week I owned it, the guy told me you can't turn the thing over, right? And of course, you can go in the Outer Banks and the Sound there and have it look like glass, but have a little bit of wind, and then all of a sudden, an hour later, a tremendous amount of wind. So it got really windy one day, and I was like, "This is going to be awesome," because they were 3 foot swells and 4 foot, which is a lot there and a lot of wind, right? So to get a Hobie Cat in the water, you basically have to just like slide it and jump on, right? Because once you put the sail up, the thing is going. Like it's not like you slowly put the sail up with the Hobie Cat, because you know how that works. It's just gone. So I jump on it and go sailing out. Again, this is my first week with it, so I don't, wasn't really trained. They were like, you don't really need to be trained. So I get out about a mile out. Right out of and then the wind dies, right, and then and I'm sitting out there for like an hour with no wind. I didn't know what to do. Like there was no wind, so I'd either have to, swim it in. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Then all of a sudden the wind comes back, and there's this big storm, and then the way it was so much wind that it turned the sailboat over on its side like this. So I'm floating I'm by myself, floating in the water around it. And I'm trying to push the sailboat back over, and it couldn't do it. I literally could not do it. And for not an exaggeration, 30 minutes, I'm like, how do you do this? Like, how do you even get this thing over? And then all of a sudden, I see a label that says, if you can read this, you must have turned the boat over. It literally said that on this label. And it said, so follow the following steps. First, release the sail. Well, that had never dawned on me. So the sail was filled with water. Of course, I can't flip the sail back up. So I released the sail. Yeah, I released the sail, and all the water comes out of the sail. So now the thing, and then it says, stand on so the boat is sitting up like this, normally like this with a sail on it, right? Now it's sitting like this. So it says, stand here, grab the rope. And I always wondered why that rope was there that was not, it had, both ends were attached to the boat. There was no end. And I always wondered what was there, but it said, grab that rope and then fall backwards, and you fall backwards, and the boat, as you're falling backwards, the boat flips back over. Yeah. But like, I just happened to see that label that said that, because I was thinking, I just bought this boat and I have to throw it away. Yeah. That's a true story.
That's customer service right there.
Yeah, if you can see this label, you must have turned the boat over. It said to upright the boat, follow the instructions. Step 1, release the sail. Step 2, stand on the top. It was literally just like that. And so ever since then, it's been history. I love sailing it because it is small. It's easy to sail. You can take it out. I've taken it out in a hurricane before, because once you learn how to control it, when you're in a hurricane, you're flying. You're going 40, 50 miles an hour, I guess. I don't know how fast you're going. As fast as a jet ski goes. I mean, it goes as fast as my jet ski. So whatever speed that's probably like 20, but I just think it's going fast. But
it feels like.
Yeah, and you're just flying. And then the hard part is getting it back up, because, you have a bulkhead. The water's hitting a bulkhead. So you have to plan, release the sail, turn into the wind, and then figure out a way to get it up on the bulkhead without, knocking a hole in it.
Yeah, it's dinghy sailing is what we call that.
Y'all make it. Your boat. How big is your boat?
43 feet.
Yeah, so you make fun of me. You're the one of the boats that makes fun of me.
No, actually, what we do is we anchor our boat and then go out and go sailing in those.
Yeah.
Well, because ours is a lot more production to get going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then you don't get that immediate, that feeling in the seat of your pants when you're sailing. That we don't get. But but then again, I don't expect to see your dinghy, hundreds of miles offshore.
Well, that's the thing is I never go further than I can see. If I can see the shore, the thing about the Outer Banks is, there's the intercoastal waterway, right?
Yeah.
And you can always see the land on both sides. So the waterway itself is about 4 miles wide, most of the way through North Carolina. So I can see on the outside of the Outer Banks, and I can see the mainland side of the Outer Banks wherever I am. But I've often thought about, because sometimes, it's 100 degrees out, sun barreling down, and sometimes the wind will just die. And as long as you have a little bit of wind, you can move somewhere. But there's been times where you have to plan it out. You have to know the wind is dying really quickly, and you have to think it out, because if you don't get in quick enough, you will bake out there.
Yeah, well, that's when you get out of the boat and you float underneath it.
Yeah,
and
just
get in the shade, get in the shade of the boat.
And you just hope there's not a nurse shark under the water.
Yeah.
Or a bull shark. We have bull sharks, I guess. Is what
those are worse.
Yeah.
I was down at we talked about Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And the marina where we're at, there's an inlet kind of on one side of it. They got the breakwater and all that. And then if you go around, and we have a couple of those Hobie pedal kayaks.
Yeah. Those are neat.
Yeah, it's great. And we go out, and that's how we get our bicycling in. But my wife went around the corner there, and it turns out that's a nurse shark nursery.
Okay. But is it netted?
No, it's like that's where the nurse sharks come in.
Will they have a sign? I assume there's a sign letting you know. Or
Costa Rica, no.
Okay.
No. No. It's like just you're gonna die. So she goes around the corner in the kayak, and next thing I know is she's ripping back into the marina. Oh my God!
Yeah.
And the shark was bigger than the kayak.
Well, I to stay in shape, I do triathlon. So when I'm, in places like that, I'd go swim in the ocean. And I've often seen sharks just hanging out on the bottom of the ocean, and it freaks you out. Like you're just kind of swimming, and there's a shark. But what's interesting about it is they really don't like humans, right? They don't want to mess with humans, and they generally are just hanging out, right? They're just there. But as a human, it freaks you out, right? So the first thing you do is you scream a little bit, and then you look around and make sure you know your path out. But generally, I don't swim over them and keep going. I generally turn around and go back, because I'm concerned once I pass them that they're going to be behind me, and I don't want to have to constantly look back. So I get nervous, but I also know many friends that have said, look, they're not going to mess with you unless you mess with them.
Even the most nasty sharks like hammerheads and black tip reef sharks, they're just aggressive, mean sharks. I've swam with those guys a lot. I don't trust either of those, but the nurse sharks, the bull sharks, I know they're just looking at me as food. And if I don't look like food, they're not going to bother.
Yeah. Well, when you're swimming with a wetsuit on, you look like food.
You look like food.
So that's the thing. And so I get nervous about them thinking I'm a seal.
Hey, I know you got another meeting to jump to. I appreciate you jumping in and having a quick chat with us, and getting a cup of coffee. Let's do it again sometime. It's fun.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to talk about stuff other than AV.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's we do that all the time, and I do get kind of tired of it too. Let's set up another session, maybe in a month or two, and we can talk about when the weather gets better. We can do some more of that. All right, bud.
Thanks, Dan. You take good. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. Cheers.
Bye.